Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is this one. It's called And the Corpse Wore Tartan by author Stuart MacBride. It was published as a hardback edition here in the United Kingdom on the 12th of February 2026 by Macmillan. It's a spin-off from the very popular Logan McRae series, but this one features this sidekick, DS Roberta Steel. I think we can probably guess there's a bit of a clue of what the story is going to be like, where the strapline at the top says a Highland hotel, a dead politician, and one killer hangover. So what's it all about? Well, book kicks off with the great and not so great gathering at a place called the Skirivour Castle Hotel in the heart of the Highlands in Scotland, and they're gathering for the wedding of the year. The daughter of a famous Tory grandee is marrying her beloved, and everyone who is anybody has been invited. They weren't actually expecting DS Roberta Steel. She's turned up unexpected, but her wife Susan is one of the people that's actually organising the wedding. So Susan knows what Roberta's like. At the start, the advertiser blurb for this book says "Move over, Miss Marple," because this is an Agatha Christie-esque type mystery. But you know, Roberta Steel, DS Roberta Steel, is no Miss Marple. Susan, wife Susan, knows what she's like, and she says, "Look, promise me you'll be on your best behaviour. A lot of important people here. No messing around, no getting drunk." And Roberta says, "Oh, all right then." Well, that's working out okay until Roberta finds out that the father of the bride is a Tory grandee. It's very much a Tory wedding, and all the guest tables are named after people that served in Margaret Thatcher's Conservative cabinet. So Roberta Steel ends up sitting on the Michael Heseltine table, which grates somewhat. And come on, you know, I think I try to keep this channel politically neutral, but yeah, I can understand anybody not wanting to sit on the Michael Heseltine table. But I digress. So Roberta's well on the way to breaking her promise, and she is well and truly getting drunk as the evening goes by and the speeches continue. Bride and groom get married. All is relatively well. Things that aren't going well are the fact that the weather's on a turn. The whole valley in which the Skirivour Hotel is located is cut off by a storm. Phones down, internet's down, and then all of a sudden things take a real turn for the worse when the father of the bride is found impaled on a stag's head in the lobby. So what's she going to do? No phone, no internet, and this is an Agatha Christie-esque murder mystery. I guess that a lot of people are isolated in a place where they can't get to the mainland, and one person, in this case it's DS Roberta Steel, has got to find out who done it. Roberta's got some help, but you could argue they're not much help. There is a police constable who's attending the wedding. But he's young and naive and prone to mistakes. And there's also a world-weary sergeant who's also attending the wedding. So Roberta's got to basically interview all the guests and find out what they've been up to. That proves difficult because clearly there's only Roberta, the constable, and the sergeant to interview 40 or 50 people, because they had to interview the staff as well, by which time they've all got a chance to get their story together. And it's one of those cases where the old saying is true that, keep your friends close and keep your enemies even closer. Because whilst they're being interviewed, all these people speak of the deceased as, salt of the earth, really great chap. But as Roberta gets into the interviews and tries to find out a bit more about what's going on, turns out he maybe wasn't such a good chap and salt of the earth, and there are a lot of people in that hotel that had a motive to kill him. And that is basically the tale. it's fair to say that DS Roberta Steel is no Miss Marple. Bit vulgar at times, a bit sweary. So if you like your murder mysteries, calm and quiet and chic, then maybe this isn't for you. So it is a bit rough and ready, but there's some great one-liners in it. There's some great humour, and all in all, it's an enjoyable read. It's 227 pages, so I read it in one session. I was a little bit disappointed with the conclusion, I have to admit, but maybe that's just me. But it's an enjoyable enough read. I've read some reviews online, and there are people that are suggesting that it lacks a bit of oomph, and maybe it would be better if Logan McRae was involved. But I haven't read any of the previous books, so I can't really judge that. But as a standalone book, it's a murder mystery, and the plot's been done before, but this is well done. Lots of people, someone's murdered, they're stuck where they are. They can't get in touch with the mainland, so it's up to somebody on site to solve the murder. So enjoyable enough read. Maybe not the best murder mystery I've ever read, but as I said, 227 pages. The author at the front says, sit down, pick up a drink and a biscuit, and sit down in a comfortable chair and enjoy it. And that's what I suggest you do. So, as I said, not the best murder mystery I've ever read, but an enjoyable enough rom, and some good humorous sections as well. So that's it for this week. 10:10 till we do it again. Thanks for watching.